this clip by Anthony Riley. Now, I had heard this before, and it annoyed the living shit out of me then. And it just came up again in what I've been reading and watching. So, well, let me play it for you. Let me just play what he says.
It's just disproportionately unrealistic to argue that we should have a model. How should we have a model? There's no science for a flat Earth. All of the science is all based around this bullshit nonsense of heliocentrism.
Okay, so what he says there is very, very telling. See, one of two things is going on here. Either Anthony Riley is completely incompetent and doesn't understand science or know how the scientific method works, or he's an outright fucking liar. Let me play it for you again. Just listen carefully. I'm going to stop it at a point here.
It's just disproportionately unrealistic to argue that we should have a model. How should we have a model? There's no science for a flat Earth.
No science for a flat Earth. See, he's claiming that heliocentrism and the current heliocentric model and the science behind it is somehow keeping him and other flat earthers from having a model. Well, okay, so either, like I said, he's intellectually dishonest fucking liar, or he doesn't understand, one, what a model is, two, what science is, and three, how the scientific method works. So let's cover this really quick. A model. It's nothing but a description of a given physical system or phenomenon or observation, something. That usually includes some predictive component, usually in the form of equations that predict how that model is going to operate. Okay, let's take, for instance, relative density. Well, he states that relative density is a force, and that force is why things fall out of the sky. If I were to go up that cliff, to drop that 4,000 foot cliff and drop a lawn dart off the top of that cliff, it falls because of relative density. That's his claim. Okay, so how can you make a claim? Well, if you understand what a model is, and if you understand what science is and how the scientific method works, then you know that in order to be able to make a claim that something is, you have to have evidence for that claim. You have to have some observation, calculation, or measurement that, in this case, would show that delta rho, the difference in density between the medium and the object, exerts a force, and be able to quantify that force, or at least not necessarily start out quantifying the force, but be able to show some evidence that there is a force that comes only from the difference in density between the medium and the object. And then you need to have some observation, calculation, or measurement that shows that the most likely reason things fall out of the sky is due to relative density, to the exclusion of all other probabilities, in this case including gravity. That's the goal here that Riley has. So what did we just say? We just said that in order to be able to make a claim, you have to have demonstrable evidence for that claim. Well, if you have that calculation, observation, or measurement that shows relative density is, one, a force, that it exerts a force, and you can show that the force is due to relative density and nothing else, and that, two, that relative density is the most likely reason things fall to the exclusion of all other probabilities, then guess what you've also got? The evidence for your claim is also a model. Or at least it's the very basis for a model. It's the starting point for a model. So if Riley doesn't have a model for relative density, we'll use that as an example, but flat Earth in particular, relative density is the example we're going to use. If he doesn't have a model for relative density, that is not because the man is keeping him down. It's because he's fucking incompetent or a fucking liar. He's either incompetent in that he doesn't understand what science is and how the scientific method works and what a model is, or he understands those things and he's fucking lying because he knows he doesn't have the evidence to back up his claims, so he backs out saying, well, I can't have a model because the man won't let me have one. Okay, so here's what I want. I want all of you debunkers out there, all the globe earthers who, just like me, know for a fact the Earth is a globe, know that the heliocentric model is a real thing, need to push this clip and push him on what he said. Does he understand science? In which case, he's an intellectually dishonest bastard. Or does he not understand science? In which case, he is completely incompetent to have this discussion. I want everyone to push this point. I want everyone to make this clip part of their next video. If it's not the subject of the next video, I'm asking you guys to put it at the end like I just did for this one. In the description, there'll be a link to the original source video. I've already clipped this out. If anybody wants it, I will provide the clip for you with the original link so that we can all make sure that we're complying with fair use here. But I want everyone to call him on this. I want so many people to call him on this that he cannot ignore it. I want to know, Riley, are you scientifically incompetent to discuss this rationally and provide evidence for your claims? Or are you a fucking liar? I want to know the answer to that, and I want everyone to push it. I'm Mike the Engineer, and I'm out.